Welcome back to Red Threads, a student-led podcast created to raise awareness about blood cancers through conversations with healthcare professionals, patients, and advocates. We are a group of students interested in healthcare and public health, and through this podcast, we hope to learn directly from our experts and advocates within the community and share important information. My name is Vani, and I'm joined today with my co-hosts.
My name is Sue.
And my name is Veda.
For today's episode, we are honored to be joined by Kim Cheney, a passionate advocate within the blood cancer community who has dedicated her time to education, awareness, and supporting patients and families affected by blood cancers. Kim brings a powerful perspective rooted in lived experience and advocacy, and we're incredibly grateful to have her join us on Red Threads. Kim, thank you so much for being here with us today. To get us started, could you please tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your role in Blood Cancer United?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. I'm excited to spend some time chatting with you all. So, my name is Kim Cheney. I am campaign development manager for the Triangle Student Visionaries of the Year campaign for Blood Cancer United. I have been with Blood Cancer United for almost 5 years. Next month will be my 5th year anniversary here. And I'm very proud of the position that I have here. I'm very proud of the work that I have been able to do. And I have so enjoyed getting the opportunity to work with so many outstanding high school students from the past 5 years on their campaigns and on their fundraising efforts to support Blood Cancer United.
Okay. Our next question for you is, what motivated you to pursue your role in Blood Cancer United?
That is a great question. So, my being here at Blood Cancer United, like so many of my coworkers across the country, is fairly personal. So, before I joined this organization back in 2021, the year before that, in 2020, my aunt was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. So, multiple myeloma is a form of blood cancer, and unfortunately, there is no cure for multiple myeloma. It can become manageable, but it is not treatable in the fact that you can essentially be cured of multiple myeloma. So when she was diagnosed, that was something kind of new for my family. She was the first person in my family that I'm aware of that was diagnosed with a blood cancer. So it was new for all of us. So wanting to be there for her, support her, wanting to learn more about, what can be done, what can we do to help her and whatnot, learning about then the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, that seemed like a really great organization to pour time, effort, and attention into. And I had been working with other national nonprofits. That's kind of where my career has stemmed from. I saw an open position for this campaign, and I thought, what a great opportunity to kind of not only spread my wings into a new pursuit of a profession, but also something that is incredibly meaningful to me because of my aunt's diagnosis and because my family, like so many other families that I've gotten to know and gotten to work with since I've been here, we know how important the work that happens here at Blood Cancer United is.
Thank you for sharing that. Building off of that, how has this shaped the way that you see public health advocacy today?
That's a wonderful question, Veda. I think I think advocacy is such a necessary piece and component of any type of nonprofit that you work for, right? That awareness piece. I think for Blood Cancer United, it's especially important because there are so many families and so many individuals that have been personally impacted by a blood cancer diagnosis, right? We talk about the facts when we're giving our presentations and when we're sending our emails, right, on how prevalent blood cancer is. We know that leukemia is the most diagnosed form of childhood cancer, right? So I think it's really important for people to know that because it resonates with so many people. I think a very interesting aspect on the advocacy side of things for my position here is the fact that I get to work with high school students. I think that is such a unique aspect for any type of nonprofit work where I am working primarily with high school students, which that is not always the case. So having high school student leaders really being the ones leading the charge and being the one to lead the advocacy efforts from the standpoint of this campaign, I think is such a unique opportunity. And I think it's something that I think is incredibly important because I think it shows everyone not only the importance of the work that is happening at Blood Cancer United, but also the fact that high school student leaders have something important to share, right? You guys have a very powerful platform. And even though you are high school students, I don't think that makes what you have to say and the work that you're putting in any less powerful or meaningful than if it was an adult sharing the same message.
Right, thank you so much for that. Outside of the Student Visionaries of the Year campaign, how can people or students in the community raise more awareness?
I love that question. So I think it's such an important piece of this campaign is really bringing the community in and letting them know about this organization and how they can help support. So we really work with our student leaders like Veda and Avani on reaching out to everyone in their network. So we work on different strategies and we work on different types of outreach. So whether that is sending out email communication, sending out physical letters to people's mailboxes, or that could be scheduling events out in the community, whether that is setting up a table outside a public event that's going on, or setting up a presentation at school so that way other peers and teachers and folks in the school community can hear what's going on. Really, any opportunity where folks can hear about the efforts that's going on and also hearing about the importance and the need for why our student leaders are fundraising and why they're spending their time advocating for this effort, I think is a huge opportunity. So I think anytime that our student leaders are able to share the message of why they wanted to participate in this campaign is just a win for everyone.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like that really shows why education is so important and powerful. And one of our last questions is, working so closely with awareness and advocacy, as you shared with us today, what roles do these play in improving the lives of patients who actually battle blood cancer?
I think it's really important for people to be able to hear about the mission and the work that Blood Cancer United is doing. As you all are aware, this is a new name for our organization. We were the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society that started way back in the 1940s. And in September of this past year, in 2025, was when we officially made the name change to Blood Cancer United. And a big reason for the name change was that awareness piece, letting everybody know who has been impacted by any type of blood cancer that this is the organization for them. There are over 100 different types of blood cancers, but not every type has the word leukemia or lymphoma attached to that. So it was really important for our organization to have that name change so that people know this is where they can come for information, this is where they can come for patient support, and this is where they can come just for education and resources so we can help them along their journeys.
Thank you so much. And to wrap it up, if there's one message you want our listeners to walk away with about blood cancer, what would it be?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. I'm I'm thinking of what the number one thing would be because a couple different things are coming to my mind. I would think the most important thing for people to know is that there is hope out there. I think that is something that's really important to know. Back when our organization originally came about in the 1940s, it started because there was a 16-year-old boy who was diagnosed with leukemia and he unfortunately passed away. And his parents created a foundation in his honor with the sole purpose of raising awareness and raising funds so that leukemia could be treated. That was how our organization came to be about. And I think it's really important for people to know that we have made great strides with the research that has been conducted through our efforts, that the survival rate has increased fivefold from where it used to be. Back in the day, a blood cancer diagnosis was automatically a death sentence, unfortunately, where it was 100% fatal. Now that is no longer the overall generic message that people hear. So I think it's really important to know that yes, there is still more work to be done. Blood cancer is still out there. We are working very hard so that Avani and Veda's generation will be the last generation to know blood cancer, and we're working very hard to get there. But I think it's important for people to know that we have made great strides, but how we get to that, day where blood cancer is no longer an issue is with increased research, increased funding, and increased awareness.
Well, with that being said, Kim, thank you so much for sharing your story and the important work that you do to raise awareness and support those affected by blood cancers. And we are incredibly grateful for your time and the perspective that you brought to our Red Threads podcast today.
You're very welcome. It was my pleasure.